You know, cyclone is low pressure that is thermally induced. So for thermally induced, you require temperature of 25 to 27 degrees Celsius. If I take this into consideration, what is the important factor for us to understand? Cyclone attain all its energy from latent heat. Recalling latent heat inversion में पढ़ा था. That is the reason it requires moist air, and that is the reason it develops over water bodies only. This high temperature will be developed over water bodies only when they are marginal, and added to it, it will develop over water bodies when they are marginal during which season? Transition from summers to winters. कौन सा season होता है वो? Autumn. It is very typical to autumn season. Are you making sense, class? That is the reason when I talk about tropical cyclone, I have very selective locations on the map of world, wherein Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea are the prominent locations of the development of tropical cyclone. Tropical cyclone develops in autumn season because autumn is a transition between summers and winters. Land readily cools down, but neighboring marginal water develops the air temperature that you require. Once this air temperature is generated, there is the genesis of circulatory motion. अब बहुत ध्यान से notice करेंगे, then I'll take you to the technical figure. First, I'll draw it myself. I'm in Northern Hemisphere, so I can take Northern Hemisphere का factor. Pressure gradient force भी recall करेंगे, Coriolis force भी recall करेंगे. So what we are doing is we are creating a low pressure center. Imagine this low pressure center to have developed somewhere in Bay of Bengal. I want all of you to respond, understand, and then copy down. Don't write down right now. It's a low pressure. If it is a low pressure center, I can draw one more isobar. I just want to maintain the simplicity of the diagram because our focus is something different. अब बहुत ध्यान से देखना. I have just created 4 dotted arrows to denote convergence. Am I right to say that the 4 arrows that I have created is showing pressure gradient force? Because wind always moves from high pressure to low pressure. Quick hand raise. But I know that between 8 degrees to 35 degrees north, there will be Coriolis force. So wind will fail to converge like this. What is the way wind will converge? ध्यान से देखना. जो हम एक common mistake करते हैं उसको दिमाग से हटाना. Wind will try to come towards this, but will get deflected to its right. 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 Deflection is created by Coriolis force. Are you comfortable with green color? Quick, go ahead. बाद में करना, पहले go ahead दो, जल्दी बताओ. Yes. Now question is, हम जो common mistake करते हैं, I'm drawing a wrong diagram and then I'll quickly remove it. So what we believe is कि wind ऐसा deflect हो गया और वो ऐसा चला जाएगा. अगर वो ऐसा जाएगा तो आपने तो पूरा का पूरा काम ही खराब कर दिया. आपने तो wind को low pressure से high pressure पर डाल दिया. गलत हो गया ना ये. हैंड रेस करेंगे स्टूडेंट्स, ऐसे नहीं चलेगा क्लास. ये गलत है. तो करना क्या है, अब देखो ध्यान से. यूजिंग अ डिफरेंट कलर एंड सो दैट इट बिकम्स क्लियर. आई गेट डिफ्लेक्टेड बट आई हैव टू कन्वर्ज. आई गेट डिफ्लेक्टेड बट आई हैव टू कन्वर्ज. आई गेट डिफ्लेक्टेड बट आई हैव टू कन्वर्ज. दैट इज द रीजन इन नॉर्दर्न हेमिस्फीयर ट्रॉपिकल साइक्लोन हैव counter clockwise conversion. एकदम कॉन्फिडेंट हैंड रेस दे दो. समझ में आया? ये वाला जो इम्प्रिंट बना है ना, ये हमारे दिमाग में कंफ्यूजन क्रिएट करता है. I cannot diverge. It's low pressure system. लो प्रेशर में हमेशा कन्वर्जेंस होगा. आपने अगर ये वाला एक इक्वेशन याद कर लिया तो बाकी सारी चीजें आप आराम से लिख सकते हो. अगर नॉर्दर्न हेमिस्फीयर में काउंटर क्लॉकवाइज कन्वर्जेंस हो रहा है लो प्रेशर सेंटर में, तो सदर्न हेमिस्फीयर में क्लॉकवाइज कन्वर्जेंस होगा. गो अहेड दो. नॉर्दर्न हेमिस्फीयर में अगर काउंटर क्लॉकवाइज कन्वर्जेंस हो रहा है तो सदर्न हेमिस्फीयर में तो क्लॉकवाइज कन्वर्जेंस ही होगा, बिकॉज विंड गेट्स रिफ्लेक्टेड टू इट्स लेफ्ट इन सदर्न हेमिस्फीयर. ठीक है। अच्छा, अब ये रिकॉल करना, एवरी सरफेस लो, every surface low have upper air high. अपर एयर याद आ गया ना, ट्रोपोपॉज। एवरी सरफेस लो प्रेशर हैव अपर एयर हाई प्रेशर। तो अगर ये मेरा कंडीशन सरफेस का है, दिस इज माय लो प्रेशर दैट हैज डेवलप्ड ओवर बे ऑफ बंगाल एंड thus I have developed counter clockwise convergence। तो क्या अपर एयर में आप क्लॉकवाइज डाइवर्जेंस विजुअलाइज कर सकते हो? यस और नो बताओ। और अब जरा इस डायग्राम, थोड़ी देर के लिए इस डायग्राम को देखना, बाद में बाकी सारी चीजें देखेंगे। थोड़ी देर के लिए देखिए। यू हैव सीन वेदर इमेजेस ऑफ साइक्लोन, ऐसा स्पाइरल ऑफ क्लाउडी दिखाई देता है ना, समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं? ट्रॉपिकल साइक्लोन इज डेवलप्ड इन ट्रॉपिकल लैटिट्यूड। It ideally develops between 8 degrees to 35 degrees north and south in marginal water bodies during autumn season. It's a thermally induced system that is dependent on uninterrupted supply of moist air. That is the reason this system tends to develop only over water body. Desired temperature of 25 to 27 degrees Celsius is not possible in open water. It is only possible in marginal water because it remains in the influence of neighboring land. More enclosed the water, more warm it can be. That is the reason Bay of Bengal is more prone to tropical cyclone than Arabian Sea. Moreover, Bay of Bengal has got onshore winds because system will evolve in Bay of Bengal. उसके बाद तो सिस्टम को आपको ड्रैग करके लैंडफॉल करना है। लैंडफॉल इज मोर लाइकली पॉसिबल इन वेस्ट बंगाल, ओडिशा, आंध्र प्रदेश, तमिलनाडु compared to Kerala, Maharashtra, Karnataka and Gujarat. That is the reason ideally when I today talk about for the last 2 years that during dry summers you are experiencing super cyclones in the country, and that too in Lakshadweep and Kerala, it is abnormal because IPCC's assessment report justifies sea surface temperature is increasing because 90% heat added to the climate system by human activity is absorbed by water. जब water अपने आप इस तरह से human interference से rise warm up हो रहा है, I don't need to wait for autumn to develop tropical cyclone. Go ahead, go confident. So tropical cyclonic circulation का technical aspect convergence and divergence हम समझ गए। अब इसी convergence and divergence के साथ एक important domain बनाएंगे। पहले हम आसान diagram बना रहे हैं। Okay, so this is my tropical cyclonic circulation, which is identified to be counterclockwise convergence in northern hemisphere, so clockwise convergence in southern hemisphere, and I have also understood that it will be developing what is called upper air divergence, which will be opposite to the surface purview. Now what I do is I take the cross section of this, so I create a smaller simpler image and just take the cross section. So this is my northern hemispheric cyclone. I just want to create few isobars here so that the things becomes easier for us. And this is my low pressure. Now what I'm doing is I'm taking a cross section, okay, A and B. And now I'm taking this cross section to create my base diagram. So my base diagram, I'll be creating a miniature. So I'll draw A and B. Then I'll give you the technical diagram, so you'll be very easily comfortable with what you have to understand. So I've drawn it as this. A यहाँ बना दिया, B यहाँ बना दिया, and purposefully want to take the center as this. So have you understood how I have constructed this diagram? Go ahead then, cross section draw कर दी, ठीक है? अब नोटिस करते जाओ बहुत ध्यान से। This is called primary circulation, that is counterclockwise convergence in northern hemisphere, clockwise convergence in southern hemisphere, and what I am drawing as cross section is a secondary circulation. Secondary circulation में please recall what you have learned with tricellular meridional circulation. This is low pressure. So by default, the wind which is converging in will be rising up. ऐसा क्यों होगा? If this is a low pressure, will it be developing vertically over high pressure? And if these are relatively high pressure, will it not be having low pressure vertically over? जरा जल्दी से go ahead दीजिए, diagram बाद में बनाइएगा. So what is the nature of secondary circulation? Nature of secondary circulation is in is up and out is down. In is up and out is down. Come on, give me go ahead class. आ रही है बात समझ में? जहां पर अप होगा बाय डिफॉल्ट वहां पर क्लाउड फॉर्मेशन होंगे और जहां पर क्लाउड फॉर्मेशन होगा वहां पर बाय डिफॉल्ट रेन होगा. सो व्हाट आई नोटिस इज दैट आई हैव गॉट रेन जोन at both the sides of the center of cyclone, but जो cyclone का center है, it is windless, cloudless, thus rainless. तभी जब भी आप वेदर मैप में साइक्लोन देखते हो ऐसा स्पाइरल ऑफ क्लाउड दिखता है जिसका सेंटर एकदम डार्क होता है. आप लोग मुझे गो अहेड देंगे उसके बाद हम आगे बढ़ेंगे, नहीं देंगे तो हम बैठे होंगे. साइक्लोनिक स्ट्रक्चर, ट्रॉपिकल साइक्लोनिक स्ट्रक्चर इनकॉर्पोरेट important constituent as rain zone and the rainless center. जो ये rainless center है ये इसी वजह से बना क्योंकि यहाँ पर आपने लो प्रेशर क्रिएट किया, पर जो विंड कन्वर्ज करती है by the time it reaches this low pressure center, आपने ये नाम जरूर सुना है, इसी लो प्रेशर सेंटर को आई ऑफ द साइक्लोन बोलते हैं. आई ऑफ द साइक्लोन इज सच हॉट that by the time wind converges, it fails to converge and start rising. I need a confident go ahead, then I'll proceed. This complete system can be seen here. अब देखो ये वाला डायग्राम जो हमने आपको आसान बनाकर दिखाया, आपको डायग्राम देख लो यहाँ टेक्निकल दिख रहा है. Don't miss to see few of the important things. War motion. Don't miss to see few of the important things. Eye of the cyclone is cloudless. क्लाउड और रेनफॉल यहां हो रहा है, यहां हो रहा है. ये विंडलेस, रेनलेस, क्लाउडलेस जोन. यू हैव टू गिव मी गो अहेड. पूरा सिस्टम 2000 किलोमीटर से बड़े साइज का, इट्स अ स्मॉल साइज सिस्टम. दैट इज द रीजन इट इज कॉल्ड साइक्लोन. और प्लीज रिकॉल हाइट ऑफ ट्रोपोपॉज. आप ट्रॉपिकल लैटिट्यूड में हैं इसलिए आपका ट्रॉपिकल साइक्लोन का जो टॉप है वो 12 किलोमीटर तक जा सकता है. हैव यू गॉट इट क्लास? नाउ दिस सिस्टम व्हिच डेवलप्स इन वाटर is being transported to land by wind. तो जहां पर विंड ऑन शोर होगी ऑटोमेटिकली वहां पर ज्यादा इफेक्टिव लैंडफॉल होगा और जहां इफेक्टिव लैंडफॉल होगा वहां इट विल बी एक्टिंग एज हजार्ड. आई थिंक दिस इज डन. ठीक है. एंड एज वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट ट्रॉपिकल साइक्लोन, बे ऑफ बंगाल मोर प्रोन, अरेबियन सी लेस प्रोन, you have understood the reasons behind. Now, because of the change of the environmental conditions induced by humans, we know that the things are becoming immensely complicated. इसलिए tropical cyclones, like most of the weather phenomena, have become unpredictable, is changing its dimension, it's changing its nature and every other thing. But let us not miss the opportunity to take up the understanding of a very important aspect that goes up with cyclone as hazard. ध्यान से देखो, जो पॉइंटर्स हैं उनको समझो और उसके आप कॉपी डाउन करो. Indian Meteorological Department identifies two types of cyclone. Cyclone number one, I talked about in class few days back, is a temperate cyclone. Temperate cyclone is technically wrong. Hand raise karo. You are aware of it. I have talked about it in the class. It is western disturbances. Western disturbances are experienced only in winters. It originates in Mediterranean Sea. It is experienced in northwestern India and it is not hazard. Not hazard को बहुत strongly highlight करेंगे. Western disturbances causes precipitation and is not hazard. The second type of cyclone that IMD identifies, which we are learning right now, is a tropical cyclone. It is low pressure developed due to high sea surface temperature in Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea, causes precipitation in entire coastal India, Bay of Bengal being more stronger than Arabian Sea, hazard with entire shoreline. ये दोनों column clear हुए हैं. It is tropical cyclone that qualifies as climatically induced major hazard. Why? Because of high wind velocity, strong sea surges, heavy rainfall, thundering lightning, causing flooding in coastal area, and cause of sea salt water influxing in the deltaic plain. सारी चीज को कॉपी करके जल्दी से गो अहेड दे दो. How many types of cyclones are experienced in our country? 2. as IMD says. Technically, western disturbance को temperate cyclone बोलना गलत होता है. Temperate cyclone, that is western disturbances. Northwestern India, winters only, not hazard. Why? Just coming up there. Tropical cyclone, major climatological hazard. Why? Because of the wind velocity. अब ये wind velocity वाला factor के बारे में भी बात कर रहे हैं. Wind velocity, when makes a land surge, it causes sea water surf, leading to the coastal flooding. Heavy rain, thundering, lightning are the other climatic hazards that are correlated. This low pressure developed during high sea surface temperature, that is autumn, is more prone or more significantly correlated with the Bay of Bengal compared to Arabian Sea. I'm waiting for you to give me a go ahead, because we'll not get the opportunity to get into the complete revision of tropical cyclone. The time I'll make you understand hazard and Sendai framework. It's good that you take it the reference here. I'll be changing the screen, so I want all of you to quickly give me go ahead. Okay? अब इसी के context में एक और ये pointer को देख लो, because I think that gives you the best reference and understanding of the things, and it becomes easier for you to apply. पहले 2 मिनट के लिए समझना, और velocity factor को ना round off कर देंगे, because उनको इस तरह से याद करने की जरूरत नहीं है. IMD का डेटा टेबल है, you all can see. Types of cyclone जो IMD recognize करती है in terms of its wind velocity have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. There are 7 categories of cyclone, जिसमें जब तक आप इसको low pressure और depression बोलते हैं, that is 1 on 2 categories, wherein you are talking about less than 50 kilometers per hour की wind velocity. थोड़ा सा राउंड ऑफ कर दिया, 49 को 50 से कन्वर्ट कर दिया. These two are not hazard. For me to qualify as hazard, my wind velocity should be more than 50 kilometers per hour. Hand raise करो. इसलिए हम क्या कह रहे हैं? 1 and 2 can be both western disturbances, which IMD says is temperate cyclone, and 1 to 7 is tropical cyclone. तो मतलब हर tropical cyclone hazard नहीं होता. कौन सा tropical cyclone hazard होगा? 5 out of 7. Deep depression, cyclonic storm, severe cyclonic storm, very severe cyclonic storm and super cyclone. Getting it or not? जब आप 3 से 7 के कैटेगरी में आओगे, that is more than 50 kilometers per hour की wind velocity, तब आप hazard हैं. और ये hazard का characteristics कब होगा? Only in case of tropical cyclone. I need a confident go ahead and quick copying down of this. Rounded off कर लो, सबसे आसान काम है. Less than 50 kilometers per hour is cyclone but not hazard. Western disturbances belongs here. More than 50 kilometers per hour. More than 50 kilometers, less than 90 kilometers, less than 120 kilometers. ऐसे करके आप categories बना सकते हो. और अगर आप नाम को याद रखोगे तो बड़े आराम से समझ में आता है. Low pressure, depression. Depression becomes deep depression. Deep depression becomes cyclonic, severe, very severe, super cyclones. Of late, we have started experiencing more frequent super cyclones. Wind velocity more than 220 kilometers per hour. Hand raise kar dena. IMD identifies India to be experiencing 2 distinctive types of cyclone, temperate and tropical. Temperate cyclone, because always have wind velocity less than 50 kilometers per hour, it is never counted as hazard. Tropical cyclone can have 7 different categories of wind velocity. If it is less than 50 kilometers per hour, it is called low pressure or depression and is not counted in hazard. Hazard begins when I take it as a deep depression. That means my deep depression, where the wind velocity is more than 50 kilometers per hour and touches severe cyclone or super cyclone storm, when the wind velocity is more than 220 kilometers per hour. Super cyclone will be most devastating.